if you got an iron bar here and you heat this end, guess what? That end's going to heat up too. It's referred heat. So if I'm hot and you get to hanging around, you're going to be hot too. We use that in the dunya, in Jahiliyyah. And the last cases was a suicide mission. Remember, everything they used on us worked on everybody else. They didn't think it was going to go this long. It never had. You can't find any other group, movement, organization that the line of the longevity was this long. Anything like it. Nothing, nothing, nothing. So by the 1980s, late 80s, when I come here, they're getting stretched out a little bit. They're still confident. In the 90s, they still confident. We're going to encircle them. We're going to do that. And they do encircle us. And then some go away, they do it again. So we into encirclement and suppression. They're confident this cannot last longer than 1 or 2 more times. But it keeps going on and on, with no visible effect. It ain't having no effect. We know we got them. You know, when you go fishing, I remember we used to pull the hook thing a little, and then it hooks the fish. When you see the little nibbles, you know, the line is just a little bit, that means the fish is nibbling. So you let them nibble a little bit more, and then that's what we used to do. We pull, and we catch the fish most of the time, hook him. And we know that we got them hooked because they always calling us. We ain't never called them. You see what I mean? They're always contacting, involved around us. We ain't never going, well, we got our new speaker system. We're going to go down we're going to do all that, yeah, when we get ready. But in the meantime, we got them hooked. That's why we don't have to do nothing until we get ready. They're the ones hooked. We know we got them hooked because they got to call us all the time, every time. They got to get something out of us. They got to get some hearing, some statement. They got to just find out where we coming from. They got to do that. They hooked, not us, right? They the ones in love. I ain't in love with them because I ain't calling. Baby, please, I just got to talk to you. No, they calling me. They the ones hooked, whatever it is. They hooked on me, on us. Ain't nobody hooked on them. We ain't paying no attention. That's why we got this, we running this show. Too bad whether they like it or not. They should have surrendered a long time ago. They just got star-tracked to death because they didn't expect it to go this long. And nobody can put up with this. So they're gonna make you paranoid. So sorry, maybe in the late 60s and the early 70s, you definitely got a little paranoia and anger. You know what I mean? You messing with me, you get, you know, but it's flight or fight. That means I studied myself. So when I get juiced up and mad at the government, everybody running, trying to get away, flight or fight, I wouldn't do that. Shoot, I'd go in the house and come out with my AR-15 standing in the middle of the street. Everybody, what's wrong with that guy? Come and get me, sucker, if you're talking that trash. And that's what I found out. See, when you go through struggle, you find out where yourself is coming from, just like you find out where they're coming from. That's why they had to arrange all that crooked stuff. Can you imagine what they used to do? Remember the first case I was telling you I got in 1967? They came up to the house and said a federal agent, a state narcotics agent, and Ted Hilliard, the vice squad, in Oakland. They came and they said, we found this marijuana in number 8 mailbox, and you live in number 8, so we got a right to come. They don't have no right to come in there. They don't have a right. Now, if they'd have looked out the window, they didn't even look out the back window where I threw your stuff. All you had to do was look. Because I saw them coming, I threw everything out the back window. If the police is coming in the front, you're going to throw it out the front window? There they are right there. Let me throw it in their lap. Here, hold it up. Just a minute. Catch. That's on, look, that is on the doggone, in the evidence. Remember I showed y'all stuff at the trial, when I was in preliminary hearing for the federal case? They said, yes, first part is true. We looked in his wife's purse, she had a gun. And we just said, okay, you're the husband? Yes, I am. Well, just come stroll with us. But see the passenger list, even, that's 45 years ago. Anybody that's still alive and who was on that flight from Mexico? Yes. Do you remember the police arresting the man? Yeah, I remember that. Shot there. They took him on in there. His wife had a gun. I was behind them, and the whole passenger list, some of them still alive. Did they pat that man down? Of course they did. They said, just spread your legs, and they patted him down. They patted his tummy. That's protocol. You can't tell nobody that the wife had a gun, and they're going to go in the room, walk away down the hall, all around town, and the husband, they're not going to pat him. Right? We was niggas then, and we niggas now, but you could say that stuff then. They can't say that now. And, yes, we went in the room, and a man assaulted us. Of course I did. They pulled out this, Mr. Reed, what you doing with all this dope? Of course. You think I was playing football. Can you imagine a nigga 25 or 26 years old, still lifting weights, in good shape, running the hills, and they trying to plant dope on him? The reason they charged me with assault, you know, the way they had these doors, and I break out of one room and I'm heading down the way, and a dumb white man stepped out right out of in front of me. And it was one of them like road runner where you run over the guy and he flattens out. Right? You see them road runner stuff? That's just the way the white man did. I hit that cracker and he flattened out. You know, you're full of adrenaline. And then I ran to them big doors, big old giant airport doors. Shoot. I pushed and they was closed. I just backed up and I hit them doors. Them boys flew over because it was full of police on the other side. But anyway, they took us to jail. You know what? I showed y'all what it said. Tell the truth. This all happened. We took out of jail around 2 o'clock. We went back at 6 o'clock and found 3 ounces of heroin here, 3 ounces of cocaine here, which ain't no cocaine. If I'm a big dealer, you know what I mean. It's enough to put you in the penitentiary, but if I was in Mexico, I sure wouldn't be bringing no 3, 4, 5 ounces, 6 ounces. Good God Almighty. I mean, it's ridiculous. That's enough to put you in the penitentiary, though. And one of the packages had the receipt to the hotel. Remember me reading that? In a plastic bag with a receipt to the hotel and the hotel room and we were staying. Now that is the way to smuggle dope. You should either put the hotel you were staying and wrap it up, seal it up good, or your driver's license. You know what I mean? Or your passport. Put that in there, in the dope. This is the way if you... That's why I'm always laughing. I'm going to pull this stuff, I'm going to pull it out, Freedom of Information Act. I got a lot of it. This stuff is going to become public. I'm going to show people why they do this jackass stuff. They've been doing it all along, and they thought that we're the white man, we can do anything to a nigga that we want. So we already had them from years ago. We had them the first time when they say, we ain't been harassing him. It ain't no record of his arrest. He ain't been arrested but 5 times. I got my rap sheet, I had 4 or 5 arrests. And everybody in Oakland know I was arrested when you saw I got the bail bond record. Okay, we still had inexperience, so it didn't work. We didn't get the white man, but we scared him enough to back him up and say, well, if he just shut up, we'll just make it 2, 3 years, 4, 5 years or something. Now, that's as less you can get. And I've been all over the world. I still have a few dollars. I'm a happy man. I mean, everybody else done really suffered. But I mean, it's just like right now. Can you imagine what they do to niggas that challenge the system? Everybody's, look what they do in Syria. They destroy whole countries. Look what they do to everybody else. Look what they do to us. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. This is what they do to us. It's ridiculous. They have them clowns call on the phone and talk stupid. They can't tell that stuff to nobody. They can call me and say that. They can't call anybody else and say da-da-da-da-da. They try to take the police and them, and what they do is real. I was told today, see, we tried to give you a break. We was going to come out there and take your property in D.C., but we gave you a break, and then, I said, I sure appreciate all that. I mean, if you think, so what I'm trying to get to is gratefulness. I said it before. When I went out there to Oakland and they took me to jail, hey man, it ran in front of my face. What if I wouldn't have accepted Islam? That's what life would have been like. Now you got to remember, they got stuff where they figure you headed. You a nigga, you ain't gonna be nothing. We didn't give you a record, and this is where they predict niggas' future. And that's what they was doing. Yeah, nigga, it's over for you. It's all over. We've already written your future. That's what they tell niggas. And then the Negroes don't do psychological fitness, physical fitness, spiritual fitness. And the white man write their future. He wrote the brother's future. Boy, they're talking about a discombobulated. That's why we holding the Negro banner. Yeah. We ain't never dropped the flag. We ain't never dropped the nigger flag, no matter how many niggas on the other team, no matter whether white folks. We have never, in public nor in private, dropped the nigger banner. No, we ain't dropped it that day, like people forgot the Middle Passage. And niggas jumping overboard just to get off this shit. What is this, man? Where are we going? Is this it? And they jump overboard to get ate up by the sharks. And we gonna be here and help that fool? So they can help them all they want, not us. And it's not arrogance. Time has already proved this stuff is, all this is a done deal. Now, what does it mean about our homeboys? Like Zarif and all of the people. Just like the Negroes, the last meeting, Anjuman meeting in San Francisco, when I went out there in San Francisco, I didn't even go over to Oakland. I wasn't interested. There was nothing to go to Oakland for. Right? But all the big shots from here, I'm going to go by and visit the brothers, and I'm going to tell them to relax, take it easy. Forget it. There's something wrong with them, but I don't think the police. And if they are police types, the system, God's system has got them in check. What I'm trying to say is you look at what's going on in the Islamic Republic. The reason I read this thing on the snow-covered Tehran is because the alim made the prayer for rain, and he got, I don't know what they said, it was 6 inches, 8 inches. It's just tons of snow, right? That's the way it is with Iran. Iran is like us. I always say it. Iran is like us. No matter what they do, it's going to help them. No matter what Don did, it helped them. No matter what anybody, you think about it, no matter what they do. And then, now everybody admits, and we already know it, but you ought to see what the white folks say. You ought to imagine how paranoid they are. Iran, the superpower in the Middle East, what is Iran going to do? So our brothers, something happened to them along the way. But I look at it as though whatever anybody's doing, they can't stop the Islamic Republic. It's on the road. And whatever they do, they have to stay in line. Because it's the historical momentum that's carrying everything. What I mean is, the guy makes dua for his rain. You can't beat him. It's like that with everything. They produce it. It's like that with us. It's like that with us. Everything they did to our poor groups, they knocked them over. They must have been laughing so hard at how easy it was to just whisk the Panthers away. And how they got the brothers to cooperate. When Huey Newton came out of the pen, when he went to the pen, instead of turning people into revolutionaries, they turned him into a nigger. That's why he came out with his bodyguards, beating on everybody, and moving it to downtown. And the only people I knew lived in downtown at that spot around the lake was my homeboy, my best homeboy. He lived there, and he was a big hustler and what have you. And all of a sudden, there he is up there, a revolutionary. Killed a 17-year-old prostitute, you know. Who wants to kill a poor little girl? He went crazy. He went in there. You imagine in jail how niggas be talking about, man, I was on the street, I had 7 hoes, I had this, and them niggas is lying. Bad lying. In fact, all them dormitories and them cell houses, if you don't, you know where you got to cross the traffic, you look both ways. If you on one of them cell blocks, some niggas will run you over, and one of them brohams, they driving down on cell block. Got a convertible with a top back. Hey, broham, that's the name niggas have, broham. You know what I mean? Cook the film. Just like the brother here, Cadillac. You know, the niggas, they've seen Cadillacs before. They never had one. But they brainwashed him. When he came out, I looked at him, I said, man, they turned this nice young guy into a nigga. And he lived every bit of it, a nigga. He just went bad. Okay. So, the white man tried to convince you to kill yourself. Or he'll tell you things like, I know more about you than you know about yourself. That's why they try to steal stuff and read all your stuff. Well, I mailed Peckerwood packages of stuff, real live stuff. This was it, Peckerwood. And you still 500 years behind. Every time you make a move, I done already left there 6 months ago. Why? Because you stupid fool, you reading all my stuff. And I said in lectures here before that I sit there and just to test, I write stuff right there and sit back, make sure they can read it and see what happens. Them jackasses will act on, I'm sitting at my desk downstairs. And I write something, they'll respond to it every time. What the hell am I supposed to do? Except make a damn fool out of it. How long have I been doing that? Ever since, all this stuff has been in pocket since the 80s. This stuff is, when I came here, this stuff was already in play, but it got fine-tuned. That's why I came here. I told everybody publicly why I came here. I said, I come here to get every bit of the game. And if I last 5 years, I got the whole game. Because this is DC, they're going to throw everything out at you. And they did. That was 30 years ago. Good God, 29 years ago. And they got a scratch. Not a physical scratch, not a psychological scratch, not an emotional scratch, and not even an economic scratch. But they try to break you. And if you don't have no money, you know, Imam Ali said it.